Never been the right time, you said, and yet here we are again and again.
Hurricane season was over.
Oh, I'm sorry about things just got out of hand.
Yeah, that's the way it was with my first husband.
It's gotta be fate that our lockers are so close, that in your wink and smile fills me up with hope. Wringing my hands and breaking a sweat, said, do you wanna, would you let? You put a finger to my lips and said, baby, you bet. I'll pick you up and hope that I will put together enough. Your town looks like a motherfucking grizzly bear. I'll have a whole life and 15 shots, I swear. Sir! No fucking way, this is happening to me. I've got eyes that I can't see if this is for real. I call my mom, she is so right that it's wrong, and I can't seem to get you out of my head. Get you out of my head. You look so good in your tie-dye shirt. It's days like these when I wish I knew how to put. Even listen to that song I wrote. Even after I told you I was bad at rhyming. Sometimes you just know I'm so not gonna take this slow. It's hard enough to get you through my head. So I said, no fucking way, this is happening to me. Got eyes that I can see if this is for real. I told my dad that I think you're pretty rad, and I can't seem to get you out of my head. Get you out of my head. And I forgot to tell you that you look beautiful tonight. So I took you to your porch and then looked down and said, you have nice shoes.
Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to Creative Chaos. Day after Christmas, we're all working off our Christmas hangovers. I hope everybody's doing great out there. Creative Chaos is a show dedicated to shining a spotlight on fascinating people, creating fantastic things outside of the mainstream. And our opening band tonight is called the Skagbirds, but they are now defunct. And that's actually the lead singer is our guest tonight, who we'll be meeting in a little bit, but no spoilers. We'll be chatting with him in a little bit. But first, let me bring in my sidekick, the Batman. Hey, Bat Sauce. You're muted too. It's mute gate.
Oh my God, silly me. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. It took me a little bit to really get going today, but I got some things accomplished before the show.
Okay, how's my mic? Can you hear me clear?
Yeah, but you still got that snap, crackle, and pop, and it's setting me. It's setting my ADD
I don't know what
off.
else to do. I tried to get a hold of Cosmic today, but he was busy because I had a couple different headsets to play with, and I was going to try. I'll bounce out in a minute and try this other headset I got. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going on, but let me see. Hold on one second. Let me try settings. Audio. Default. Go into headset.
I like the play-by-play as well. Hey, wait. It was good, I think, for a second. Try again.
How about that? Does that?
Nope. It's still bad. It's still
now?
Terrible. Anyway, while you're doing that, I'm just going to say, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Keep it like that. Real quick, let's just say hello.
I can't hear you though. It says headset earpiece, and I can barely hear you. It's not coming out of anything. It's coming out of my phone, but as if it's coming out of my phone, like I have to put it to my ear to hold it. So hold on one second.
Okay, I'm going to say hello to the chat while you're doing that. And while I'm talking, you can see.
Can you hear me now?
Me. I can hear you. It's not as good. Anyway, what is up, Amanda's Comic Network? Popping in and saying hello. Also, Nat Rain said hello. And Patrick, our guest tonight, and Bat Sauce popped in and said beep, beep, because he's on his short bus still. All right. I don't know if you can hear me still, Batman. Probably not. Awkward. Awkward silence.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello?
And hey, what's up, Katie Did? I see we have
Snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do at this point. I'm shit know on this one. I'm not the tech guy, as we all know. But
yeah, I'd prefer to for you to be able to hear me. And looks like Cause made the executive decision to take you off screen so that I can do our Flip City pitch, which is a pretty fun one because I'm not actually going to be trying to sell you any magazines tonight. I know you guys are really tired of hearing me say, go buy Flip City. I promise you will laugh. Instead, tonight, I am introducing a new and exciting and fun collaboration that we've got starting with the Madness Comic Network live draw stream people. Flip City will feature a new page or a spread for however long this collaboration lasts. You know how it is with creatives. Sometimes we start hating on each other. And we're either going to do this collaboration live either monthly or quarterly. The details are still under development. So the concept is Flip City, or me, which I kind of represent Flip City, will provide this group of illustrators with a theme or topic to tickle their creative and funny bones. This group will then draw live for a couple of hours while we have some laughs and hang out with the chat. Then the illustrators will be featured in the next edition of Flip City. So, for example, this Saturday will be the very first time that we're doing this collaboration live, and the topic revolves around serial killers and the women who love them, with the working title of but I love him. And this came from the sick and twisted mind of our friend Levi Skeen. So come hang out with us tomorrow in the chats. Not tomorrow, I'm sorry, on Saturday. And I think it's 1 o'clock. I know Pops is out there. I haven't seen Levi check in, but there is the Madness Comic Network channel. And it is on Saturday. We're going to be doing the live stream, chit-chatting it up and watching these people draw live and see what kind of things pop out of their minds as far as serial killers, either real or imagined, and the either real or imagined girls who love them. I think it's going to be really funny. And that is 1 p.m. Eastern. I had it right. Hey, Batman, I see you again. That was our pitch for tonight. And I don't yet. There you are.
What a fucking nightmare.
It's okay. Don't
I'm making
stress.
myself a little bit of eggnog and espresso vodka and bourbon cream and bourbon not eggnog or whiskey eggnog. I'm throwing together a nice big mix. So we've got one.
Nice.
We've got espresso vodka number 2.
Ooh.
We've got some Buffalo Trace bourbon cream number 3. And then we have limited edition vanilla eggnog, the hood variety.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something about eggnog. So I've never been a fan of eggnog because the only eggnog I ever had was the prepackaged crap. And I made eggnog. Seriously, I made eggnog for the first time. And that's what's in this glass. I'm finishing it up tonight for the very first time. And I love eggnog. It is awesome. If it's not like the overly thick, weird stuff that you get in the containers. So yeah, I've got a little bit of rum in my eggnog tonight and also a Bahama Mama. So
nice.
Yeah.
Bahama Mama does not mix. The juice in the Bahama Mama does not mix with the eggnog in your other glass. Be careful, or you'll be tossing your cookies tonight for sure.
Well, I'm drinking them both. We're going to see what happens.
Oh, seriously? Oh, wow. You should choose one or the other, but eggnog and juice do not mix.
So on my 21st birthday, my brother took me to the bar that he frequented, right? And at the end of the night, the last shot that he wanted me to take, it was called a cement mixer. And it was a creme liqueur, probably like Bailey's or something like that. And then also a side shot of lime. And what you're supposed to do is put both in your mouth and then mix them up, and then it curdles in your mouth. And because it was my brother's bar, you know, he knew the bartender. And the only thing I remember about that was she said, Sean, if your sister pukes all over this bar, you're cleaning it up. And I did not puke. So I was very proud of myself. I made my older brother proud that I did not puke.
That's great. Well, what I was trying to say earlier before we jumped out was, being as this weekend, you know, this whole week has been a whirlwind for everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year to come. May we all have a very prosperous, joyous, healthy, fun New Year.
I love it.
Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, and do all that good fun stuff to show the algorithms you love us and that Christy is, you know, your number one favorite fanzine out there. We've got this comedy magazine called Flip City Mag that people just love. So, I see. What are Pops trying to say? What are you trying to say, Pops?
He said, but wait. He said, but wait, there's more.
There's more. There's always more. There's always more when Batman's around.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to get into our guest tonight? Because I'm excited for us to do Fanboy for Us and then finally the Flip City branded segment, because there's a thing that you do not know about our guest tonight. Good. You've got your notes. That's awesome.
I got my cheat sheet. And there's something funny I don't know about our guest.
Yes. He is an extraordinarily talented voice guy. I went on their show, gosh, maybe a week and a half ago, and we did a live read. and he did all the parts, and it was perfect. So I'm super excited for the end of the show tonight. So we're gonna hurry through his own pitches so we can get back to me. Okay.
Absolutely. We'll throw it back to you as quick as we can.
All right. All right. Let's bring him in here in 1 second. So what we've got for you tonight, the guest is Patrick Quinlan, and his latest comic. My notes here. His latest comic is called Phenomenal Tales #1, Minotaur, and it's live for a few more days on Fund My Comic. So let's just take a look at the trailer, and I will drop the link while that's playing to where you can see the whole campaign. Let's take a look. Hey, Patrick.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to hang out with you again in my house.
I know, it's cool. Thank you so much for having me. What's going on? Do I call you Batman or do I call you Bruce Wayne?
Whichever you prefer, either or, doesn't matter. I go by both. I'm well known here on the Foxhole. I'm OG as far as Foxhole Pill.net goes, but I'm new to Madness Comic Network, and just like Christy. But we're all friends. We all love one thing, and that's a really good comic book. And from watching your trailer and doing a little dig on you, I found some really nice artwork. So what's it say? With the jacket and the bad connection, Bruce feels like he's communicating from a space station. All right. It's going to be hard for me to hear you guys, but I'm going to do something, and I'm going to sacrifice my own hearing you guys clearly for the show. So hold on a second.
Good to meet you, and thanks for having me back, Christy. Nice to see you.
Good to see you as well. And by the way, really loved your band. Do you have, so by the way, I'm going to say again, for anybody that just came in, but maybe even saw the opening house band tonight, that is Patrick's old band, which is now defunct. Love it. You're a great singer.
Thank you. And that's all like rock stuff. You've seen maybe some of my videos where I'm doing the kind of more jazzy Frank Sinatra style stuff.
I have not.
Oh, no? Oh.
Where do I find that?
It's on my YouTube channel. I did a Christmas special for Christmas.
Oh, I did miss the Christmas special.
I'll send it to you over X.
Okay. Patrick, I have to ask you, what is the name of the band, or was the name of the band?
The name was the Skagbirds, with a Y, because we were edgy like that.
Spell that again for me.
Skagbyrds. There's an issue right now with the music on Spotify. You know, I don't really talk to those guys that much anymore. So who has the login to the Spotify stuff to get it back up again is a little in the air right now. But all the songs from our main EP, the big thing that we did, are all on YouTube. You find them under the Skagbirds.
Okay, very cool. I got to tell you, it had a lot of good Charlotte vibes or Blink 182 style vibes. So I liked it. I was really impressed with that. Alien Ant Farm is a big fave of mine. So it had those vibes, and I really dug it. So I wanted to just say thank you. That was really cool.
Good. I'm glad you liked it.
And there was a compliment, I think, before you got here, saying it. And Nat Rain said it feels like something from '98, and he liked it.
That's awesome. Everything I would do, I want to make it feel like it's from the '90s. So thank you.
And it did. It really did. It had that vibe to it. So very cool.
Let me ask you this, because you don't look old enough to be Gen X. Were you a '90s guy?
No, I'm 31. So I was really what happened was I was 16 in high school and I heard about Audioslave and I really liked Chris Cornell. And so from there I went to Soundgarden and then I realized that I'll never love anything as much as I love Soundgarden. And then I just explored the 90s music from there and it just became this thing that was like it was the thing that reached out to my soul the most of all kinds of music.
Yeah, I find it fascinating because I have a niece who's a younger millennial and she's all about the 90s, and that's when I came of age. Like I had a blast in the 90s and I didn't realize that it wouldn't always be like that. You know, like I'm so disappointed in the future, which is now the present. I was expecting so much more and I didn't realize like how lucky I was to be a 90s kid. I'm like, I just want to go back.
Yeah. I envy you guys who lived during the 90s. The things that I would have done and seen. Oh, Living Color too. I would have seen Living Color live. Oh my God.
I did. And that was the thing too. I went to shows all the time. And so there was that. And I lived an hour outside of Los Angeles. So I got to go club in Los Angeles all the time. So that was fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 90s was full of clubbing for me, Bruce. Yeah. Hey, Bruce, and what were the 90s like for you? I love that we're multi-generational here.
Okay, so I am literally the tail end of the boomer era. I'm a 64 baby, just like Cosmic Grandpa. How about the guys who lived through the 70s, LOL? Yeah, we lived through the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So I got to tap all three generations in one. So I do have a lot of Gen X traits, but I am all about, I am a boomer. I love 60s music. I like black and white video movies, but I listen to everything. I have a very eclectic taste, and I liked the era of the late 80s, early 90s grunge rock into ska, or ska into grunge rock, into rockabilly. I listen to everything, but that was my mainstay for a long while. Alt rock was a big to do for me. So Good Charlotte and those guys coming out of the woodwork years later. I mean, I grew up on Fine Young Cannibals. What the hell's her name? Merchant, Natalie Merchant, Fine Young Cannibals, Talking Heads, all that stuff.
My favorite band.
Nice.
Your flavor, your sound, that from your old band, Skagbirds, comes out at like that 90s era of music for me. So really cool. Yeah. For somebody who's a baby and literally still in diapers, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, don't be rude to our guests.
That's it. I'm not being rude.
I'm not being rude, not at all. I'm just putting things in perspective for everybody. I'm a 60-year-old man. This kid's half my fucking age.
It's true. Well, and Cause had to comment as well that he has children older than Patrick.
Yeah. And so do I. But let's digress and let's fanboy for us. What do you say?
Yes, let's definitely get into fanboy for us so we get to know a little bit more about Patrick.
All right, so Patrick, I'm going to shoot off a couple of rapid fire questions to you. I want to know about who you are, so I don't want you to think about it. I just want the first answer that comes to your head. So you're going to fanboy for us and tell us, what was your favorite movie? What is your favorite movie?
Oh God.
Nope.
Quick,
Rapid
don't
fire.
think.
Fuck. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Spider-Man 2001.
You offended all the other movies.
All right, 2001. Would that be who is Spider-Man in 2001?
Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin.
Yes. Okay.
It's good.
All right.
One
Good choice. Good choice.
All of
Now,
movies.
I need to know who your favorite artist is. It doesn't matter what genre,
Jack
TV,
Kirby.
movie, art, cartoon. I'm sorry?
Jack Kirby.
Ooh, wow. Wow, that's a 60s reference for a 30-year-old millennial. Wow. Okay, love it.
I didn't have to think about that one, did I?
No, you didn't. You spit that out before I could even finish a sentence. All right, favorite food, any type.
Sourdough bread.
Sourdough bread, raw or cooked?
It doesn't. Well, it doesn't really matter.
Who eats this shit raw?
You've never tried that?
I'm
Like
kidding.
the dough?
Sourdough bread. I get it. I was busting his chops, raw or cooked. Okay. Favorite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Blue Moon.
One more time.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. Okay. A beer drinker. Well, you got to check out mine and Cosmic's show then on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Maybe we'll have you on there and we'll play some of your music there as well.
That'd be great.
We do a show called Three Beer Men, and we talk about beer, pop culture, and technology. And your music is pop culture-esque in that you seek to retrieve the 90s in your style and your flavor. So we'll give that a shot. That'll be cool.
Thank you.
All right. And who's your favorite character, any genre, comic, TV, movie, or other?
The Thing from the Fantastic Four.
Ooh, wow. You've got a soft spot, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Hard on the outside, soft on the inside. He's a big mush. All right. Favorite band outside of your own?
Soundgarden, easily.
Soundgarden.
Really?
Okay.
Ooh, I don't like them.
Oh,
I thought we might become friends, but
Hey, Christy.
I'm going to pretend like you didn't say that.
Christy, come on.
Work out between us, Patrick.
Come on, Christy. Like assholes, we all have opinions. That's yours, okay?
Yeah.
Well, you probably like Pearl Jam, don't you? You probably think Pearl Jam's really great.
Actually, no. Pearl Jam's worse than Soundgarden.
Oh, thank God. Okay, we can agree on that. And Christy says,
yeah.
yes.
There's only one thing I like about Pearl Jam, to be honest with you, and that's the posters for their shows. That's it. That's all I like about them. Because they've got a Batman poster, so I have to like that.
A lot of those bands.
So their poster art. Sorry, Eddie Vedder has a Batman-esque poster where he's on a surfboard and he's got both his arms up. It's a silhouette, and it's in the symbol of a bat symbol. I have a guitar pick of his with the Batmobile on the front and back. So it's like the back of the pick is the back of the Batmobile. The front of the pick is the front of the Batmobile. So I got one of those as a souvenir. For one of my friends got it for me because they know I'm Bat. And I never heard of Pearl Jam until, well, I did. I just didn't know who Eddie Vedder was because I wasn't following the band. Didn't do anything for me. But the fact that he had a Batmobile guitar pick, that was just fucking cool to me. So I got one.
That's awesome. Very cool.
But let's hear about Minotaur. I want to hear about this comic book because I've got some notions in my head that I want to throw at you, and I want to ask your opinion on where certain things came from because I saw a few things in your trailer, and I want to pick your brains on them and how you came about it.
Sure.
Let's do it. Should we let Patrick do his elevator pitch for the comic?
100% I'm gonna mute.
All right.
Can I share it real quick so I have a little visual to go along?
Actually, our wonderful producer has it all set up if you want to.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Cos, if we can just, you wanted to bring the campaign up, right?
Yes. Perfect. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Phenomenal Tales #1 Minotaur. It's set in a post-apocalyptic alternate universe Soviet Union, wherein the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a nuclear war in the 70s. And for the last 20 years, both countries have been trying to pick up the pieces and get back to regular life. Unfortunately for Russia, they have a border incursion down in Mongolia from the People's Republic of China. A lot of people think that communists get along. They don't get along. And so the commies on both sides are fighting each other, but that's not the worst issue at hand here because due to the nuclear fallout, there are roving bands of hideously mutated radmonsters that go around essentially eating people. And in this story, there's a particularly powerful rad monster that has been wiping out entire camps of both the Soviets and the Chinese. So our hero, Minotaur, well, hero in parentheses or in the quotations, our hero, Minotaur there, the guy with the mustache, the bald guy, he is the most efficacious soldier in the Soviet Union. He's been tasked with hunting down and capturing this rad monster so they can study it for the war effort. And so begins our story.
Okay, very good. Bruce, it's your cue to now, ask Patrick what you were lining up.
Okay. So, as a comic book reader over the course of the last 48 plus years, I I see a lot of similarities to some older books. The fact that you told me you're a Kirby fan speaks volumes to me. But I saw the arch villain in your comic book. I didn't get to know the name of the character, but the one that looks like the devil coming up out of the ground, the large version of it, looked very similar to Raven's dad, Trigon from Teen Titans, that had that very Trigon-esque look to it. Yes, no?
No.
Was that a model for? No, okay.
No.
And I found that the Russian, armies and the armies in general were very reminiscent of like G.I. Joe stuff. So was that at all part of your, initial plan?
When I first started this comic book, and this is just like an offshoot series, the main series is even more G.I. Joe-esque. But when I first started the comic book, I was just trying to do something like I thought I was being super original, and I would make these designs for characters. And then I started looking at G.I. Joe, which I'd never been into. But then I started looking at like old action figure, they would have on the back, they would have that painting of the character. And I would look at those and I'd be like, that looks fucking sick. Like, this is exactly the kind of aesthetic that I'm going for. So originally, no. But then after I looked at G.I. Joe, I was like, wow, I could, I'm going to take some lessons from this.
Yeah, I did see the influence. It was definitely reminiscent. So I'm pretty good on that one. Now, the other thing I loved was the title and your font style. The Phenomenal Tales kind of harkens back to the late 70s, early 80s Monster magazines and the pulp magazines with Elvira, Monster Mags, and the creepy magazines. Was that your kind of thought process? Elvira?
Yeah, it was Tales of Suspense was the one that was really in my
Tales of Suspense. Okay, which is the original first Spider-Man appearance.
Right.
Tales of Suspense.
Well,
so I get that.
Are you sure? Is it really Tales?
Was
of
it
Suspense?
Spider-Man?
Not Spider-Man. Spider-Man was oh god, I'm so embarrassed right now. That was well, he first appeared in the
Forgive me, I've been drinking all night.
No, you're fine. Spider-Man's first appearance was not
all
Tales of
day.
Suspense, but it was
That too.
I should know this, and I have also been drinking a little bit, so
I can't even look it up.
Hey,
Amazing Fantasy number 15 was Spider-Man.
That's it. Amazing Fantasy. Thank you. That's where the Amazing Spider-Man came from. Amazing Fantasy turned into Amazing Spider-Man. So yes, okay. But along those lines, that was kind of like there it is.
Yes.
Carbon Heart put it out there just now.
That's right.
So thank you, Carbon Heart. Appreciate you, brother.
I'm thinking Carbon Heart might be Patrick's right hemisphere.
He's my right-hand man on the show.
Oh,
here with him.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe he missed that show. I think that was the one that he missed that you were on, Christy.
Maybe I was trashed the whole time. Just kidding. I wasn't.
You didn't seem like it if you were. So
no,
bravo.
I was just ridiculous.
It was a great time. We'd love to have you back on.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Which, by the way, I will take this moment to plug your show, COMICSGATE Commandos. I had a wonderful time. All the host and co-hosts, or however you guys, do your hierarchy, all you guys were really fun and very welcoming, because I know I got a little spicy at some point, and you didn't make me feel bad about it.
No, that's freedom of speech. I like to do that on my show.
Good.
Patrick, I gotta say, I'm only seeing you in literally like a half of an inch on my screen because I'm using my Samsung Android phone. But you look like a little bit of Andrew Garfield-esque to me. You got that Andrew Garfield-esque look going on.
Thank you. I usually get Justin Timberlake. I probably get called Justin Timberlake once every week, I would say, predominantly by black people. Don't know why.
If you put on, if you put on a pair of round glasses. I'm sorry. If you put on a pair of round glasses, you kind of look like Daniel Radcliffe too.
Like that?
Well,
no, like
without the sunglasses, but yes. So you got the Radcliffe vibe as well.
Ask and ye shall receive. There we go.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
There you go. That works. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back into the book.
Well, and I probably, especially coming in after Batman and all his wonderful knowledge, what's a rad monster? Like, is that something that you made up, or is that
Yeah,
an actual thing? Okay.
it's just an irradiated monster. So that's what they call them in that universe.
Oh,
Yeah.
irradiated, rad, smart.
Thanks.
Hey, okay, so I know your campaign is wrapping up in a few days, and I had a burning question because you have
hmm
a certain goal that you were kind of praying for a Christmas miracle, at least over
hmm
on X that I saw. Is this like an all or nothing thing? Like, if you don't hit goal, what's happening with your campaign?
No, if I don't hit goal, it just means I'll have to reach into my pocket a little bit more. But that's not the worst thing in the world. That's what I've been doing this whole time. I mean, y- people have to understand too, and I think a lot of smaller comic book creators do understand this. I mean, I know that they do. It's a lot of time and a lot of money that you have to spend to get these things up and going before you ever really see any kind of success that would make it, financially feasible to keep doing it without reaching into your own pocket. Um, but I'm prepared for that. I mean, this honestly, to be honest with you guys, it's more about the story being told. Like this story that I'm telling with Phenomenon, and then also with the offshoot series Phenomenal Tales. I'm telling it because I have to. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I would love to be incredibly successful, but the story will be told either way. That's really the way I would put it.
Well, speaking of incredible success, because that's something that we all strive for as
Mhm.
independent publishers or creatives or things like that. What kind of actions are you taking to like strive towards that success? Because we're all trying. We're
Yeah.
trying real hard.
Well, it's a combination for at least for independent comics, and this is what I've learned so far. But I'm new, so there's always more to be learned, more to learn. Good God, and the first thing is you have to get a presence on the internet. YouTube is obviously the biggest thing I would say for a lot of these guys. I'm from COMICSGATE, so a lot of these guys in COMICSGATE have big YouTube shows that they do that essentially provide a base for them to sell their comic book to people, and to let people get to know them, so that people, okay, I do want to back this guy. So that's probably, I would say, the biggest thing that I'm doing, other than just trying to, every time I make a comic book, trying to do something better than the last time. And not being afraid of being critiqued, like being able to take the critique and move forward and make something better than last time. And then also the social media stuff to kind of get people's attention.
Ooh, I love hearing about critiques. Have you had a critique where inside you like broke a little bit, but then had to put on a happy face for social media? How do you actually handle it? Like being
No one's done that. In fact, people I feel like have been, like with my first comic, they were like way too nice. And I was looking back on it going, good God, like nobody's going to say that. Like, come on. So I feel a little bit like people should be meaner to me.
really?
Not on my show, but about my comic book. They're mean enough on my show. No, but in the comic book, I feel like people need to be a little more, people are afraid that they're going to hurt your feelings, or that you're not going to be happy with them after they say something that they don't like. And I'm not that guy. I've never been that guy. So I wish people would be more harsh about it, is what,
Right. Well, and you brought up your last project, which was I had it noted here. Tell me what it is again.
It is
Phenomenon. Yeah.
This is the mainline series, and Phenomenal Tales are comics that take one character and go into detail about the character. So, for instance, this guy on the cover here, not this guy. This guy is Minotaur. So this is the story about him. So that one, yeah, that was my first comic, Phenomenon #1. It used to be called Phenomenon Comic Magazine, and it's funny. Around about the time that we started talking, I realized, oh God, that calling it a magazine is not a good idea, because it's confusing.
That was my exact question about Phenomenon, because it was billed as a magazine. And I'm like, well, what makes it a magazine? Because I didn't look too far into that campaign, because
Right.
I was focusing more on the Phenomenal Tales, because that's what you got going on right now. But I'm like, well, what makes that a magazine? It's like, I'm definitely a magazine.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
There we go. I
okay.
was just trying to fix my blur there. Sorry.
You scared me.
No, yours is 100% a magazine. And I was just kind of, you can probably tell I'm a little old fashioned, and I was trying to reach back into the old days where they called them comic mags. See, I got a comic mag for 5 cents. So that's what I was trying to kind of, that feeling I was trying. And also, you cannot trademark the word phenomenon by itself. You have to have some sort of extra thing that you can trademark. So anyway, it's now being called Phenomenon 1999, and that'll be the working title will just be Phenomenon, because it's not bothersome to people. But legally speaking, it'll be called Phenomenon 1999.
Well, it's good. It's good that you knew that, so you could
Mhm.
trademark, your work. So for anybody, for anybody that wants to check out your first project, and that's what I'm assuming that was your first ever crowdfund,
Yes.
because you've been saying that you're new to it. Do you have prints to still sell? Can people still get that?
People can get that first comic book on the Phenomenal Tales campaign. There is a new cover. There was originally 2 covers, one by the interior artist and one by Rob Hunter. He's also in COMICSGATE, who they did the first 2 covers, but then the third cover was done by Jimmy Reyes, who's also in COMICSGATE. There's a theme here. And that one is the one that I'm offering right now. When I did my first campaign, I told people I would never offer those 2 covers again, and I don't like to mess around with the backers like that. Just say what you say and do what you do. So this one will be the last time anybody will ever be able to get the first comic book is this campaign.
So you're not reprinting it with a different cover?
No, never again.
So far, you've had 2 runs of the same book with different covers.
Yes, I mean this second run is accompanying a new comic book, but yes. Mm-hmm. So it's got 3 covers.
So it's first edition, second edition.
Correct.
And in the collector's world, that means something.
Yeah.
Did you print as many second editions as you did first?
I haven't gone to print yet. I'm waiting till the campaign ends to see how many.
Okay.
Printing takes 2 weeks. It's really not that bad. And then shipping takes, 5 days or so. So when this campaign ends on the 29th is actually like the slated end on Fund My Comic. The day after that happens, I'm going to print because it's all done. It's all ready to go. So
nice.
And just
Very
because
good.
you brought up Fund My Comic, and I'm a huge fan, and the only place that we will ever crowdfund.
Yes. Only ever on Fund
with your
My
first
Comic.
campaign.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, tell me your journey into COMICSGATE and calling yourself COMICSGATE. Like, how did that all happen? Because I feel like I don't even know. Like, I even asked Ethan the one and only time I met him. I'm like, do I need like a card to be COMICSGATE? Because it's all so confusing to me.
Yeah.
Basically, I just want to stay out of any kind of drama. And so I'm like, I'm not going to use the COMICSGATE hashtag because I don't want people yelling at me for it.
You will get all kinds of drama if you use the COMICSGATE hashtag. So yeah, good
okay,
call.
good choice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So for me, it was really. Can I go artistically in detail?
Oh,
with this?
please!
Oh,
I
okay,
want
cool.
it.
So
we should open up the mansplain segment with this.
I actually have a topic for mansplain, so we're good. You can mansplain to me early.
So it was COVID happened, and at this point I had been noodling around thinking about making my own comic book, and it was a story that was originally a novel in my head. And there were I have like a whole board of like notes about it that I still have up. It's my original board. From like 7 years ago. It's actually kind of crazy, but I'm sorry. So I had ideas of a comic book, and then COVID happened, and I refused the vaccine. So probably 95% of my friends discontinued speaking to me. So I was kind of like alone in my apartment for a long time, and I one day it was August, and I looked out. I work in a car dealership, and I looked out the door of the garage, and a stiff breeze blew some autumn leaves across the doorway. And it was at that moment that I was like, oh shit, I got to get to work. gotta do this right now. So I started looking up, independent comic books, who's doing this, how to get into, and I found COMICSGATE. And originally I was like, I didn't like it all that much. Because I felt like some of the people in it were kind of narcissistic. But then I came to realize that I'm narcissistic, and so it doesn't matter.
My people.
Right. I was like, oh, so he's just like me. But anyway, I started looking at what they were doing, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world that you could just stick it to Marvel and DC and make your own comic books. I had up to this point been like, how do you get hired by Marvel and DC, And now in retrospect, seeing who got hired by Marvel and DC and how those comics have gone since 2000, probably about 2012, I would say, is when I really started noticing it. Thank the sweet Lord above that I didn't ever go down that path. And so I just started writing this book in 2019 is when I decided it was a comic. And when I started writing the script, I wrote 16, 17 issues. They some of them are a little longer than others, so they could be spaced out different ways. And then I realized that you have to pay people for art. So you can't make 16 issues at one time. So that was a couple years ago at this point when I hired my first artist to start drawing Phenomenon. And since then it's just been like, this is the story I've written. It's a story that I must tell to the people, and it's going to happen one way or another. And I'm going to be doing it.
Well, let me ask you this, because you brought up, hiring artists and everything. Do you ever because you're in COMICSGATE and you see, the different creative projects people are working on. Do you ever get jealous of those artist writers who don't have to invest cold hard cash into their project?
Oh, and those are always the guys who like shit on the writers too when they're talking about it. Like, oh, writers they're horrible. It's like, oh, shut up. Just because you can write and draw,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's superbly talented. Like Aaron Lopresti is a superbly talented person. And it's just really fantastic to be able to get anything that he creates, because it's the marriage between the way he writes and his art style and the kind of aesthetic of both of those is so perfect. It's so spot on that some of these people just make brilliant things like that.
It's funny because that's how Flip City was launched, because my husband is a writer and illustrator and pretty good at both. It's been funny, over the years being able to hire other artists. And he's like, I'm the weakest artist, but he is the strongest writer. I didn't even realize how great of a writer he was until after, because I appreciated the first 3 editions we put out where he did everything. But then when I was seeing art come back based on his writing, it made me appreciate his writing more. I'm like, damn, you're good. You're really hilarious. Like, I did know that because, I get his autistic rants, in the morning,
Good.
in the night, and, to the point where I don't even listen anymore because I'm a wife, So that's been very fun. And I just got to show this. Cosmic Grandpa over on X says, whoa, there's a live stream here. Smile face. That is awesome. I love how much. Oh, wait, hold on. We've got an alert here, Cos. Be ready. It's Ben Sullivan. My friend Ben is here. This is the
Hey Ben, you're my friend. Ben, you're my friend. You're the best old Ben there's ever been. Never been a Ben like Ben.
Hey, Ben. Ben Sullivan is the lead parody artist, and we love him so much. And he and Scott have probably one of the strongest writing and artist relationships. We do not tell Ben what to draw, and he always comes back with bangers and hides Easter eggs in them so hard that we don't realize some of them are there until after we get the print back. Like, I love publishing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. and he loves his song too. Woohoo. That's Ben. So yeah, if you ever need a wonderful cartoonist, I will recommend Ben Sullivan for you. So let me know.
Yeah,
if you're ever looking for cartoony art, he's the man.
I for sure will. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I am very good at making it back, turning everything back around to me during every show.
No, it's like I feel bad now when I had you on my show because I feel like it was like maybe 60% about you, and then it was all about some other stupid shit that you weren't interested in.
No, actually, that's not true because I got to find out you were a musician. I had no clue, and we got to hear some of your music, and then I was able to grab it and use you for house band tonight. It was awesome.
Good. I'm glad.
I think that's kind of the purpose of all of our YouTube shows, all of us in the independent publishing. It really is. What was the word? Oh, it is narcissistic because we are doing it to boost our own profile, but also at the same time, it's very, very nice to meet and network in what I feel is like the most genuine way we can.
Yes,
because we're kind of face to face.
This is just fun. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure. We're promoting and talking about stuff business wise, but like we're just hanging out, talking, drinking, smoking. Like it's just a fun time. I love talking to people like this.
Good. I do too. Yeah. Okay. So where were we? Because I totally interrupted your thought. Are you done being autistic?
You were about to say that you thought Soundgarden was amazing. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I just realized they are.
There we
Okay,
go.
can I just make an observation here real quick? Christy, look at your screen and look in Patrick's left front corner of the screen. He's got his Guy Fawkes mask there.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
And then look to the left of that on our screen and you see Dan Crenshaw. Well, it looks like a Dan Crenshaw character on your overlay.
It's almost lined up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
WEF.
that just caught my eye all for the last 45 minutes. I'm looking at that. I'm like, that's just really wild. There you go. There you go. Nope. Yeah, a little bit to your right.
It has to be.
Nope, the other way. I'm sorry, the other direction.
This way.
More.
Yeah, right there.
What?
That's it.
There we go.
There you go. You completed the face.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
You completed the face. That just was so too funny. I got to screenshot that. I'm screenshotting that shit because it was just too funny.
You know what?
I love Guy Fawkes.
I'm going to give a live producer note for him to line up because I want to bring it up in a sec. Cause if you could go to flipcitymag.com and about us, just bring that page up and we'll look at it in a second because I am wearing a Guy Fawkes mask on our about us page.
Nice.
And
that's
it's
funny.
It's me and Scott on the airplane. We do not air travel, but we had to for January 6th. And we had to mask up. And I'm like, I'm fucking wearing my Guy Fawkes mask.
Yes, let's fucking go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I had this mask that I would wait for them to tell me to put it on. And they'd go, sir, you have to wear the mask. And I would always go, do I really though? Just to annoy them because I knew I would have to. And they'd be like, yes, you do. And I'd be like, okay. And I would put this mask on and it said obey on the front of it.
Nice.
It's like, fuck you.
Those were really so people got really, the dissenters got really creative with different ways that they would do their masks. And just bring it up real quick because I see you have it ready and you could see my Guy Fawkes mask. And
yes, that's awesome.
And Scott does not have his mask on, and instead he is chomping on a Flip City magazine because that is what we did at January 6th. Is we brought copies of our issue 4, which was all about the election steal, and handed them out. It was, and we got a few subscribers from it, and I think they're still subscribed because they love us so much. See, it's back to me again. I'm so talented at that.
That's really cool, though. I mean, and that's actually a perfect place to be giving people your magazine. You know, that's amazing. Are you going to go to do you have plans to go to the inauguration? And I
don't. He does.
Okay, you should for sure.
I'm going.
You should for sure bring some copies of Flip City.
I was considering sending you a little stack if you wanted to hand any out, Batman.
I was going to suggest that. I was just going to say, you want to send me some magazines to hand out? I'll take a bunch with me and I'll just send them out. There's only one catch. I need a Flip City magazine t-shirt or baseball hat.
See, he's always getting free merch out of me. Every single way. He's like,
I haven't
okay,
gotten anything free yet. Who are you kidding?
You have a free subscription.
I haven't gotten a book in a month and a half, 2 months.
We publish quarterly.
I haven't seen an issue in 3.5 months.
Don't you give me shit that we're a little behind. Bidenomics. Okay?
Can't hear you.
I said Bidenomics. He wants us all dead, okay? Be happy.
Not me.
Publishing.
Speaking of Biden, I love your target in the background there, Batman. That's awesome.
What?
Can you make out who it is?
Oh,
isn't it Joe Biden? Yeah. I thought it was.
But wait, you're missing something else. Hold on. You got to see this because it's funny. Hold on, I got to do this right now, and I got to see if I can get that in there. Hold on. So I've got a. Oh shit! Hold on.
Well, Batman,
my eggnog dropped. My eggnog dropped and just leaked out all over the floor. Hold on. I got to show you this. So I've got a Moon Knight figure here, but behind Moon Knight.
Oh, wow. That's kind of scary, honestly.
Dude, I swear, you could probably charge for tours of your office spaces.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love how the target's right on Sleepy Joe's nose there. That's awesome. Right on the shot.
Yeah. Well, everything keeps falling now. I'm dropping everything.
Well, you know what?
Fuck me.
Batman? I'm going to take...
And I'm already 3 shades to the wind.
I swear he can't hear me.
What'd you say?
I'm just like a droning woman's voice in your ear. Like, I literally been like, I have something to say. And you're like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, love you. I just wanted to say, we have 36 people watching. If you haven't already, please smash the thumbs up button and or share it out. Subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. I have noticed, especially since we've come to StreamYard, because I never knew this before, we have been up to 50 live viewers at some point. And that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, I forgot to say, this is exactly our 1-year mark. This is our 52nd show.
Congratulations. Amazing.
That's pretty cool. Good. He muted himself. Okay.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Now you're getting copyright struck by the Michael Jackson Foundation.
It's so funny he muted himself again.
I got to clean up my mess on the floor here. I'm going to mute and I'm going to be off camera for a minute, but I'll be listening.
Are you going to Zamboni it?
I swear he said he's going to beat off camera.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, ew, gross. Okay, don't come back on camera for a while.
That is not nice, Christy.
Anyway, we started kind of touching on kind of your patrioticness and all that kind of stuff. And this aligns perfectly and segues into our mansplain segment. So let's just get into mansplain.
Let me explain. You see, mansplaining is not a negative thing. It's just that we as men have a biological urge to help propel the human race further, using our male wisdom and expertise.
All right. So I often say I am a profile lurker, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have social media anxiety. I don't engage a ton, but in my own lurking on your Twitter profile, it proclaims you're an anarcho-universal monarchist. And then also on your Fund My Comic profile, that proclaims you're a dissident. Yes. So I consider myself a dissident, and I'm not a real fan of monarchies, because of being a dissident. So please mansplain what an anarcho-universal monarchist is, because I've never heard of it. And those words kind of all shoved together seem to be oxymoronic.
Yes, indeed. Well, so I was trying to come up with a term to describe exactly how I feel about politics and government and what form of government I would be most, so there's communists, they're most in form of a giant state, that kind of thing. What I would say is that I see all forms of government as some form of evil, and that the only correct form of government is the monarchy under the eternal creator of the entire universe, God himself. So I don't recognize the authority of any government because, obviously you have to play ball when you're, you have to do things to not be thrown into jail. But if we're talking about like in my soul, how I feel about governments, I find them all to be some different form of evil, and the only correct form of government would be under God himself.
Okay, now I completely understand that. I have one other friend that is of his similar viewpoint and very much a dissident.
Mhm.
But I've never had the opportunity to ask him about the whole monarchy thing, because in my viewpoint, man is corrupt. I mean, how can you guarantee as a person that, has invited Christ into their heart and everything?
Yeah.
Like, how do you avoid that being corrupted and just being like a psyop in itself?
I'm not saying that any man should be a king or a monarch over other men. I find that to be one of the first evils introduced by Satan on the planet. The idea that there could be a mortal being that would rule as a king over others is abhorrent to me. I'm talking about the one king, the true king, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
There's only one king. All other kings are what they are attempts to essentially usurp that title from the one true king.
Okay, right. So basically, anarchy will work if we are all following God's law.
Precisely.
So there's not actually anybody sitting on any throne, unless it's Jesus.
Oh, it's Jesus Christ.
But
yeah. And the eternal creator, God the Father on his emerald throne in heaven. They call it an emerald throne in Revelations, and I'm fucking fascinated by that.
Go on.
Well, I mean, just whenever they describe God sitting on his throne with the hosts of heaven about him, they describe that his throne is like emerald and it shines forth and it like shoots rays of light out underneath it. It's just terribly fascinating.
It does sound beautiful.
It's so cool.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, imagine Jesus in the physical on a throne of emeralds shooting out beams of light. And I bet you can look in them and trip out.
When the New Jerusalem comes back to earth and alights upon the planet, that's the city of God, and he will sit on his throne and rule over earth. So I'm pretty excited.
Okay, I just have to step in here for 1 second. It just means those emeralds, those green emeralds, just means that Jesus is a Green Lantern. That's all. I mean, he could be the king of all Green Lanterns. I'm sorry, I had to jump in there.
And it is completely okay to be irreverent on Creative Chaos, Batman.
Okay.
Okay. That was actually a very concise and perfect description of what you mean. And I think I understand now.
Good.
Well, you are a very good mansplainer. And so that segment went by very quickly, and we're going to just
take longer. I'm sorry.
No, because this next segment, some love it to go on forever. It is called Creative Chaos Conspiracy Corner, and we're going to get in there right now.
I want to live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't aliens.
I also just wanted to say what is up to Rob Wilson art. This is leftover from Christmas. I haven't created myself a New Year's hat for Conspiracy Corner. So here's how this goes. Basically, we're protected now, Patrick, because I've got my tinfoil hat on. I haven't received any strikes from YouTube, even though we've talked on all of like a ton of things that would get you banned on YouTube, and I haven't gotten any strikes. And I do
really.
I think it's because I wear this.
Have you guys talked about that real awkward subject around the Middle East, though? I'm not going to talk about it, but have you? I'm curious to know if you got struck for that.
No, actually, because we have a wheel of conspiracy, and there's rules to the wheel, and we're going to spin it. So you're going to be kind of like assigned a topic, but I'm going to tell you how the wheel works here.
Okay.
Once we bring it up. All right, so this is the wheel, and you can have up to 3 spins. The way the wheel works is you get first topic. If you're like lukewarm on it and want to spin again, you can. So that's your second spin. If you don't like it so much, you have a third spin, but no matter what it lands on, you have to talk about it, even if you don't know anything about it. And then at that point, your writing genius comes in handy because you could just make anything up.
Perfect.
All right. Are you ready to spin the wheel?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Sound effects for the wheel, too.
Climate change. That's a definite conspiracy.
Well, yeah, it's just straight up bullshit is what it is. I'll
Yeah,
tell you about, you want to know about climate change? Okay, you love I'll tell you about climate change. How about the fucking great flood that swept over the earth approximately 11,250 years ago that archaeologists have spent hundreds of years denying, oh, it didn't happen. And now suddenly, after the past 20 years and with the efforts of people like Graham Hancock, they're like, oh, well, maybe there was a great flood that is represented in every single religion across all of history that maybe was actually a real thing that occurred.
All right. Now, is that all you wanted to say about it, or do you want to choose that as your topic?
Well, so for my topic, am I trying to prove it or?
Oh, no. I mean, it's literally just a conversation starter.
Oh, well, let's spin it again, shall we?
All right. We're going to
More
spin
interesting
it
things than
again.
climate change.
And thank you, Rob. It is a very nice hat. Oh, is there even a justice system anymore? I don't know.
I would say we'll spin it again and I'll take my chances. I was really hoping for remote viewing, but it passed it up by just that much.
Hey, maybe you're
Okay,
going to get
before
it.
you spin, I just want to say something. It's a two-tier justice system, and we're always the one losing.
Hell yeah. That was a fast one. All right, final spin. Here we go. You're stuck with what you're stuck with.
Big money, big money, big money.
No whammies. I'm sure I have a couple whammies on here.
Okay.
Secret Society, that's
All right.
a big one. You
Nice.
can go on forever, I'm sure.
I can go on for a while here. Secret societies. The one that I'm most well versed with is Freemasonry. In fact, so I was in a Greek fraternity in college, and I was actually the ritual master, and I engaged in certain rituals, like the ritual of initiation and such things, for people. And it was only when I became older and realized what's going on with Freemasonry that I realized that Greek fraternities are essentially like little baby versions, little rookie versions of of Freemasonry. And so I started getting into that and seeing what is Freemasonry all about, because I was raised Catholic, and the Catholics are like the arch enemies of Freemasonry and vice versa. They don't like each other very much. And so I wanted to know, like, why are they so upset with these people? And just the more I delve into it, the more I begin to realize that, well, first of all, there's a lot of knowledge hidden at the 32nd and 33rd degrees that you don't have access to. And when people say them, when they say, they do this or they worship this person, there's nobody to corroborate that. So you can't, it's like a plausible deniability thing. They're like, well, we don't do that. Who else says that? Huh? But anyway, a fascinating thing I have here is illustrations of Freemasons. This was written by Captain William Morgan. In the ritual of initiation, one of the things that they do is they hold a knife to your throat. This was also in Greek fraternity. They hold a knife to your throat and they say, make this swear that you will never reveal the secrets of the fraternity on pain of death. And you're like, okay, fuck you. I want to drink beer and be at parties.
First rule of Freemasonry, we don't talk about Freemasonry.
Right. Much. And so Captain William Morgan, the goddamn hero that he was, decided to just write a whole book about it. He said, fuck you all. I'm going to tell everybody what you're doing right here. And then he died mysteriously a couple weeks later. So,
weeks later, after the publishing of the book?
It was like weeks or months, but it was a very short period of time after when he wrote this book when he got off. I mean, when he died mysteriously. So it's a terribly fascinating book. Essentially what it does is it just gives specifics of the rituals that he would engage in and some of the things that they do, like the grip, for instance. Have you ever heard of that?
I'm sorry, grip?
The grip. So
I have not heard of that.
in secret societies, I can't say for all of them, obviously they're all somewhat different. Like the Rosicrucians aren't the same as Masonry, and they're not the same as the Brotherhood of the Snake. And it's very, anyway, the point is, Freemasons have every fraternity has a specific handshake that they do with other members of the fraternity. So if I hold my hand out to you and you shake my hand and you shake it a certain way and I'm shaking yours a certain way, we're like, I get you. I see you, brother. That kind of thing. And there's secret handshakes that they do the higher up you get on the totem pole. So he just goes into specifics like that, ways to essentially sniff out these people. And I love it. My favorite thing, I tell you what, my favorite thing is to meet, like, because, like I said, I'm Catholic, and I'll go like some of these events that I've been at the behest of my parents, and you meet these priests, and they're like kind of, uppity priests, and you're like, oh, hello, sir. And you shake their hand, and they shake your hand with a fucking Mason grip. And you're like, oh, you son of a bitch. And then your dad thinks you're crazy when you tell him later that you're.
Well, let me ask you.
Mason.
Well, let me ask you this: have you ever trolled a priest and given them a certain handshake? Like,
no.
Okay.
No,
Have
but I
you
did.
thought of
I
doing
did
it?
troll. I did troll an actual Freemason, though. He said he was a 32nd degree Freemason. This is actually probably one of the most fascinating experiences of my entire life. I'm working at the car dealership. This guy comes in. He's talking to me. I don't know. I think I was reading a book on my phone about this kind of stuff. He's like, "What you reading?" And I tell him, and he goes, "Well, I'm a 32nd degree Freemason." And I'm like, "Oh, bing!" Like right before the 33rd degree, which is the big one. And I'm like, I start talking to him. I'm like, "Oh, well, what do you think about all these things, these conspiracies about Freemasons that they worship, Baphomet and these kinds of things?" And he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't believe everything you hear." Note, he did not say that's not true. He said you shouldn't believe everything you hear. And then he starts waxing poetic. He's like, have you ever heard of the allegory of the cave by was it Plato or Aristotle? One of those two.
It's Plato's Cave. Yep.
Thank you. And I always get those two, Aristotle and Plato, mixed up. Anyway, he's like, you should read that. And so after he left, I read it, and what it essentially says is that once you see the light, once you had the light of knowledge, you can't go back down into the dark cave and look at the shadows and call them the same thing you did before, because now you know better. You know what they really are. They're just people making the shadows on the wall. And if you try to explain that to the people who've been chained down there in the cave the whole time, they'll think you're fucking crazy. They'll be like, you're a maniac, dude. What are you talking about? Up outside of the cave? That doesn't even exist.
Mhm.
And it was at that moment that I realized simultaneously a few things. One, that he was essentially confirming to me everything that I'd said to him and questioned him about, but he couldn't say it out loud. And so he didn't say it out loud. But he was essentially also saying to me, hey man, you need to get involved in Freemasonry, because you're going to see something or experience something that will change your entire perception of the world around you as it stands. And you'll never be able to go back.
Now, well, let me ask you this. So, do you think that Freemasons are actually a little bit like stimulated or turned on when people that are not in it know about it and know their secrets
For
a
sure.
little bit? I think that's
Yeah.
true. Well, I
And-
think
and-
that's true with any secret society. I don't think it's anything where they're like, "Oh, you should know this," because it's
Yeah.
secret knowledge.
Well, it's special. He makes him feel special, and I think he also felt pretty special being like, I'm going to drop this little tidbit for this young guy and see if he, you know what I mean? Like, I think that made him feel like a little special. And I'm happy that he did that. The pride of the Freemason is one of my greatest joys. So when they reveal their secrets to me, unwittingly or wittingly, it doesn't matter. I'm very happy about it.
Well, and that's the thing, I think, just as a thread through all secret societies is esotericism,
Mm-hmm.
right? The esoteric knowledge. And
Yeah.
well, that's the thing too, because they do want recruits. They want people in their special club, to do
Yeah.
their bidding, whatever it may be. But you got to be in the club to know what the bidding is, right?
Well, they want people who are hip to it too. Like, if you are a dunce and you can't understand any of this stuff anyway, then even if he told me, go read the the allegory of the cave, and I was a dunce, it wouldn't have mattered at all. I would have been like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? And I would have moved on with my day. But it changed my life forever, I would say, reading that. So I think that's another thing too. They will drop little, I mean, see, excuse me. This is a common recurrence in media, I see. You know, they call it drip feed propaganda. Now, I'm not talking, this isn't all about Masons, this next part, but the idea that there is this knowledge that these people who can consider themselves better than you, above you, that they have, that they drop into media and that you get to taste and you get to see. But if you don't recognize the patterns and symbols involved, then it'll just be a movie to you. You know, you don't understand. But to those people who recognize patterns and see those symbols and go, wait a minute, you know, why is that number constantly recurring here? Or why is that shape constantly recurring here? That's a simultaneous way for them to kind of flex, to be like, we know better than you and we're going to fucking put it in your face and none of you are going to get it. But the people who do get it, okay, you know, maybe you want to be a part of us then too. So it's like a double-edged thing. And I think it does actually kind of revolve around pride. I think that they are almost incapable of not giving away their secrets because they must let people know that they're better than them. So they have to find a way to do that. But anyway.
Well, I mean, and that's kind of the thing too with like Satanism and or, you know, worshiping Moloch or Satan or anything like that. Isn't that the thing? Like they're actually to avoid karmic retribution, they have to make it public. They have to let it be known. But there's other forms of deception like propaganda and things like that, and calling people conspiracy theorists to actually do the mind control where it's actually not going to get out of hand because we have the minds controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least enough of them.
That whole karmic retribution thing, that whole like, if we're up front, you know, about it and we tell people, then we're not like liable for it. I just find that like, it's just one of those things where it's like, would you fucking fall for that? Like if you were God, for instance, and you had to judge a man off his life, would you fall for this whole like, well, I told them, you know, it's not my fault.
Right.
Know, like
while they continue doing their evil.
Exactly. It's like, fuck off. That's the dumbest thing to me, that some of these people think that that's a thing, that they can trick God somehow. Like if you believe in God, not everybody does, but if you do, how could you believe in a God that you could trick? You know, like, oh, I legalized him out of this. It's like, that's not how it works, brother. He looks into the interior of your soul and is like, oh, this guy's a shitbag. Hell.
But here's the problem with that premise. I'm sorry. Here's the problem with that premise. They don't believe in God. They believe in the devil. So they believe they can trick anybody, including God. Which is why they put this shit out in the movies. They want to tell you what they're going to do, like the Palestine, Ohio train derailment. They made a movie about that, and then even used the townfolk, and then put the townfolk in the movie, and then the real accident occurred a year later.
What's that
Or 2
movie
years
called?
later.
I forgot that existed.
Oh,
I never watched it.
They used the people of the town of Palestine, Ohio, in a movie about a train derailment with chemical compounds on it. Look it up.
Remember what the movie's called?
I don't.
Okay.
I didn't give a shit enough to dig that one out. I couldn't care less. The fact that they were showing us what they were doing and then they fucking did it pissed me off enough to say that these motherfuckers don't care about us ever. Okay? They're trying to kill off the chickens that lay the golden eggs. They're trying to kill off the cattle or give them mad cow disease. You think mad cow disease was a mistake? Do you think mad cow disease was some kind of like unworldly thing that came down? No, they planned that shit. Just like Bill Gates is trying to steal up all of the farmland so he can force us to eat bugs, because if he controls 60% of the world's farm country here in the United States, then guess what? We have to eat his bug farm product.
That's right. And if the
meat product,
not if some random people who are not associated with me with guns show up and take his farmland.
Not associated. I like that.
I wait
Well,
for the
well,
day
They have
that
nothing to
happens.
do with me. I resent that implication that they have anything to do with me.
Well, we're all still protected because we're in conspiracy corner.
Can
Oh,
can
well,
I
and
use
that's
the
the
restroom?
thing.
I gotta use the restroom real quick.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
be right
yeah,
back. I'm
please.
so sorry.
Yeah, no, you please go. Well, Batman, I was gonna say if the whole farmland thing does not work out, he still has the plan of blocking out the sun.
I'm sorry?
Bill Gates. Bill Gates still has the plan of blocking out the sun, right?
Yes, yes. He's been trying to do that for the last 20 years now. Probably the last 12 years.
Yeah, he's gonna Mr. Burns us.
Yeah.
I see what you're
He's got to
smoking.
go. He's got to go down just like all the others.
Yeah, and then Cause says, "How many conspiracies can we fit into a single segment?" Lol. There was a lot of them in there, but you know what? That is the wonder and beauty of Conspiracy Corner. Is I feel like we do always get kind of off topic, but it is all still on topic.
Absolutely. And just so you know, I'm sitting out here freezing my ass off, sacrificing for this show right now, just so I can catch a buzz.
Yeah, and it looks like you already have too.
I took a
Oh,
gummy
hey.
earlier today.
Oh my God. Wow. And Patrick's back. Welcome back, Patrick. We were struggling without you.
I washed
you
my
know.
hands.
You did?
I appreciate a man who
course.
washes his hands after peeing.
Why'd you say that like it was gross?
Because you were so fast.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
washed
didn't-
my
no.
hands.
It wasn't that I thought it was gross that you washed your hands. I just didn't believe you.
Yes, I washed my hands.
All
What do you
right,
take
all
me
right.
for?
A savage. All right, we're leaving
Just like this
Conspiracy
comic
Corner.
book.
We're leaving Conspiracy Corner because I'm super excited. This is what I've been waiting for all night. We're going in to the branded segment. And Batman, you do not know this about Patrick, but when I went over on COMICSGATE Commandos, we did read a piece from Flip City. And it was funny because there's a panel there, right? But they all... Dude, I'm thinking Patrick actually runs his show with an iron fist. That's the feeling I got from the panel because they seemed scared when I'm like, all right, let's assign roles. And they're like, no. And it was because they knew Patrick would blow them all out of the water. This fucker is talented, like very, very funny, can do multiple voices. So I lined up a challenge tonight and I'm going to have Cause bring it up right now because I'm also hoping that you know what this reference is. We've got the Jerks of Joke Island meet Ancient Avians. Are you familiar with either of those shows?
Ancient Aliens, yes.
But you don't know Oak Island.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
That's not it. It really is not necessary to be able to read these parts. And I am volunteering to help you out a little bit. But we've got all these roles here. We've got Rick Mangina and Marty Mangina, Craig Pester, Gary, the Australian metal detector guy from Oak Island, Jack Bugley, Giorgio Sucralose from Ancient Avians, and William Shatner. Now, I am more than willing to take on a couple of roles here, but I really kind of wanted to make you read a lot of characters. Are you up for the challenge?
I'm up for it, but I'm not going to give them the voices you probably think I'm going to.
That is okay. Do you want me to take anything off your plate? Because this is kind of a heavy read.
I think he's got all of them. I think he can do all of them. Come on, Patrick, you can do all of them.
I can do them. It's just some of the you might like. I know I'm gonna mess up the Shatner one, and the other guys I don't know how they talk except for Giorgio. I can do Gary. Gary's easy. That's an Australian accent. Jack Bugley looks like a. I'm gonna call him like a New York guy. Craig Pester. I got a voice for him in my brain. Marty Mangina and Rick Mangina. They're gonna be very similar though. So maybe you should take one. maybe you should take one of them because I don't want to have the same.
You know,
voice.
I'll go ahead and take Marty from you because
Okay.
he's more of a side character. Rick is one of the main characters, so I don't want to take that. And I'll go ahead and I'll also be because I don't have it listed on here. I'll be the narrator as well.
Okay.
So I'll do Marty and narrator.
Wait, no, don't take the narrator from me. I want to be the narrator.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay, it is opening with narration, just so you know.
Perfect.
So I'm going to
right.
sit back and listen. Go ahead.
All right, cool.
For Rick and Marty Mangina and crew, it's the first day back shooting another season of their long-running cable show on a tiny island off the coast of Canada. But will it also be their last? The Jerks of Joke Island meet Ancient Avians. Story by Flip City. Art by Deft Hand Damon. So guys, who's ready to find gold treasure today? Yeah, right. As if. You wish. I'm sorry, but were any of those sentences? Rick, after 11 years of this, all I want to do is a standing toilet. I'm tired of squatting over borehole C15. You know, they say that according to the curse of Joke Island, somebody here has to die before the treasure can be recovered.
I got $40 on Craig Pester. Who wants to take that action?
I think it's going to be Gary. Gary, who do you think it's going to be? I hope it's not the guy with the backhoe. No one else knows how to drive that thing. Today, we're drilling down 300 feet through solid bedrock to take core samples, as our ground-penetrating radar has indicated the presence of an open chamber. Sorry, I started laughing at penetrating. Open chamber. And now to reveal the bounty. Dirty diapers and an old toaster. Are we being punked? We've been drilling in a garbage dump.
The summers are nice, though.
Meanwhile, team members Gary Dregton and Jack Bugler use a metal detector to search for ancient artifacts buried in the woods. Bleep, bleep, beep, 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 beep. It's a Nile, mate. Just look at it. What a beauty. Great. I'll just log it, date it, and file it in Gary's giant friggin' pile of old nails. My contract promised I'd be rich by now. These guys are lucky I can't get a cell signal to call my agent. Oh, don't be such a negative Nigel, old Nathan. We could hit it big at any moment. I'm getting a very strong signal here. This one could be gold. But I kind of hope it's another nail. Bleep, bloop, blap. Start digging harder. Faster, mate. Faster. Okay. Geez, calm down. All I got's a spoon. Sounds like something big. I'll bet it's a massive tool of some kind. Beep, 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 beep. All I see is a layer of coconut fiber, probably used by the original Joke Island inhabitants to protect the treasure from water damage. Pull it up. Let's have a look at it, mate. Oh what? Yoink. Georgia Tsoukalos, host of TV's Ancient Avians, what are you doing here? I was down in the tunnel, trying to prove my latest crackpot theories about the origins of ancient avians. As you know, I theorized that humanity was genetically seeded on Earth by a race of giant extraterrestrial chickens from outer space, as ancient avian astronaut theorists believe. But what about my metal detector? You must have detected my tacky necklace. I got it from a shaman in Cusco. Or was it a salesman at Costco? Okay. Our ancient overlords, they finally returned. I pledge my fealty. That's tonight's dinner, stupid. Meanwhile, guys, I'm super excited to welcome back to Joke Island our old friend and frequent paranormal TV show host and guest, William Shatner. So I see this island is full of giant boreholes. Yes, we've been drilling for 11 years. I was talking about you guys. Oh, that's mean.
It's Shatner.
Now listen up, schmucks. As an honorary God damn it. As an honorary Freemason, Rosicrucian, and Jesuit, I can guarantee you that all the good stuff was removed years ago, and this is a big waste of money and airtime. I bet it was the CIA. They beat us to all the cool treasures. It's not fair. Mr. Shatner's right. We've been here 11 years, and we have Jack Squat to show for it. Jack Squat. Isn't he one of our producers? That's a good one. I think we all know what has to happen next. We're going to blow this island sky high. I'm going to find that hidden treasure. If it kills us all, it'll be the ultimate series finale.
Season 12, episode 25. Rick murders everyone. Sounds great.
30 pounds of C4 explosives wrapped around Rick Mangina's belly. Will he blow up Joke Island and take everyone with him? Or could it go off by accident and blow Rick to smithereens live on camera?
Oh, this is probably the worst idea of all time.
What could go wrong? He's loaded with dynamite. Mr. Bugley, take him out. Aye, aye, Captain. Put the explosives down now, Rick. Or what, fatty? You think your punk ass can take me down? I'm too cagey for you, kid. And unlike Bill, I do all my own stunts. I'm 93 years old. Hi-ya! Sweep. That's one for the fans. We should probably save William Shatner. He's like a mile down there by now. What you gonna do? Bloop, blah, bleep, bloop, bloop. Wow, guys, the legend was true. We just found treasure. It's William Shatner's wallet, and it's full of gold cards and crypto passwords. Who is that?
Giorgio.
Oh, and look, I just found a giant petrified chicken egg. Hard evidence for my theory about ancient avian astronauts. I'm pretty sure that's just a rock.
Shh. I want to see where this goes.
That's why I get the ratings.
The end. Holy crap.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
My goodness. Oh, it looks like over on Twitch or something, we have somebody trying to sell us things. If I have no control over that chat over there. Patrick, I thought I was going to give you a challenge.
Oh, look, that was honestly very, very challenging for me. I'm gonna fix my camera here real quick. Don't freak out. That was actually super challenging for me. Mostly because the moment I had to do, the guy from what is his name? Fucking Giorgio. Every time I have to do his accent, it instantly went out of my brain the moment it happened. So I was like, oh shit, I got to make something up and then stick with it. I could do a better Giorgio though.
Captain Kirk is easy. You have to enunciate every third syllable. You have to stop like this and say things in a broken format in order to sound like William Shatner.
Yes. Yes, you're right. And it's one of I never really watched Star Trek, but I know that William Shatner in person, and those two, the Shatner and the Tsoukalos ones were the ones that were the hardest for me, I would say.
Well, I have to tell you one thing. Shatner was long off the air while you weren't even in diapers yet.
Well, no, now he just hosts conspiracy shows.
It's awesome that he does. He's got his own albums too. Have you guys listened to those?
He's actually a good singer.
Really.
He's actually a really good singer.
It's something else. It's wild to hear him.
Yeah. They've all done that. I mean, Jesus.
Christopher Lee had a metal album. Did you know about that?
No. Christopher Lee?
Yes, dude. Christopher Lee. It's awesome.
I believe it. I do. That's great. I got to look that one up. What is it? John Ritter did an album. Oh my God, everybody put out an album. JJ Dynamite put out an album. Come on, you know? Ugh. And then they started hiring the singers to become actors, a la Will Smith in Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the most fun accent for me to do, though, is that one, I call it my thing accent, because it's just the thing. And I will say, I don't usually toot my own horn, but I have the best thing voice that I've ever heard in my life. So
What are we waiting for?
What a revolting development this is. Look, fella. Hey, String Bean, I'm tired of talking. You're saying all kinds of things. I don't understand a single one of them. Let's get to fighting. It's clobbering time.
it's just my favorite one to do. Obviously, when I do it, I edit it and I drop it down by 10 degrees so that it sounds a little more, you know.
A little more in the basement.
Yeah. Like, I have these old, I mean, there was a series of comic books. It was drawn by multiple people called The World's Greatest Comic Magazine. Here's an example of it right here. And I just take those and I edit the panels. So I essentially white out the dialogue and I do essentially voice acting episodes for those. I've got 2 of those on my YouTube channel right now of issue 1 and issue 2. It's just the Fantastic Four versus, you know, versus whoever. I even do the girls' voices. That's fun.
So I have to say, I love the fact that you've got an incognito Ben Grimm over your left shoulder in my camera screen, and Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always loved the
your
Thing in his trench coat and hat.
Yeah, so did I. I have the exact same figure. Is that supposed to be Stan Lee as Jesus, Marvel Jesus with the Last Supper behind you?
Yes, it is. You got the Fantastic Four, you've got Cap, you've got Spidey, Daredevil,
Iron Man,
Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk. Yeah,
Thor. I couldn't make out Thor.
Gave me. Yeah, that's Thor right there.
Okay, I couldn't make out Thor, but very well done. Very well done. You know, and you know they call Deadpool Marvel Jesus. No, I'm sorry. Stan Lee is Marvel Jesus. As Jewish as he was, he's the Marvel Jesus.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that new Deadpool movie though. By the way, but yeah, this is one of my prized.
Yes, I do too.
Gave it to me. I love that. Then he's like, "Excuse me, hold on a second," and he walks over and he's like, "I'm going to Disney World. Get fucked, Fox." I love that shit. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, is it like a? Oh, that's so cool. It's one of those.
It's Lecternal. It's Lecternal.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So one way it's Wolverine doing his claw, and you see Deadpool in it, and then it's the other way around with the swords, and you see Wolverine glistening in his swords. So it's based off of that old comic book cover when it's Wolverine's claws, and you see Hulk's image in the steel of his claws, in the glistening of his claws. Yes. So it's a ripoff of that. But I love art like that. It's like that's the kind of stuff that I grind to. So this one's really cool. I really fell in love with this art recently, more than I see people try to imitate and replicate it. But do you remember this cover?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a theme here with this cover, and that they've got.
Wow.
Yeah, all these representations.
Was that a HeroClix there you had there?
Yes, it was.
Yes, look at that. I love HeroClix. That's amazing.
Right? Isn't that insane?
That's so
and then
cool.
You know what this one is? This is a knockoff of it, but it's reversed. It's reversed. It was one of those little Japanese models. So I've got a bunch of this type of stuff in my personal collection that may not be valuable as far as monetarily, but it's sentimental to me because, I mean,
yeah.
Why did I name myself after the character?
Oh, I mean Batman. That's what I meant.
Yes, I've tried to emulate a good living, a good life, a life that only Bruce Wayne could live if he didn't worry about his parents being killed and become who he was, that dark vigilante.
Uh-oh.
But if I need to throw down, I know I can.
That's awesome. Very sick indeed.
Thank
Do
you.
you collect? Do you
I'm a
collect
twisted
HeroClix,
individual.
or is that just the one you have because of the Batman theme?
No, I have I never played the game. I was never into the game of HeroClix. I was a D&D guy way back in the day, and I played D&D all the way up into college. Then after I got out of college, I saw, I had got married, wife, kids, the whole 9 yards, and I watched the Dungeons and Dragons evolve into Pokemon and Digimon, and it's the same theme, it's the same premise over and over and over again. And so I kind of got bored with the gaming industry in general, from cards to tabletops to RPGs. I just, a good comic book story means so much more to me. So tell us more about your story.
What? That's quite a segue there.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my story, like I said, it's set in a post-apocalypse alternate universe. Soviet Union, the United States and the Soviet Union had a nuclear war. Now the Soviet Union has to recover. That doesn't mean that they're friends, though. They're still kind of at each other's throats. And the Soviet Union currently is trying to, and by trying, I mean they have discovered now the way to make super soldiers, superhumans. This is how I bring in my, the superhero side of things. It's, it's not just a historical fiction. It's a historical fiction with superheroes. This is actually a piece by Paul Ravoche. He worked on Batman Beyond back in the day. That's probably the thing that he's most known for. But this is going to be colored, and by colored I mean chromatically enhanced. It's 2024, so I can't say colored. It's offensive to some people. But it's going to be chromatically enhanced in the final version. This is Diamond, as he's known. He is the creator of the super soldier serum, and
it looks like he's obviously taking it.
I know. I was like,
Diamond. He created the super soldier serum that is now being used to create Soviet super soldiers, and this is probably the biggest part of the book, because the rebels in this book, obviously it's the Soviet Union, but there are rebels who are not happy, obviously, with the Soviet Union. And now they've spent 20 years in martial law because of the nuclear war. So you can imagine there's a lot of, uproar from the masses. Now, the Soviet Union does a great job of suppressing these people, but there's what they call a terrorist organization. And this terrorist organization is known as Lantern. And what they are essentially is just they're freedom fighters. But obviously, because this book is told from the perspective of the Soviet Union, they're referred to as terrorists, just like people on January 6th in certain scenarios are referred to in certain ways. So that's the idea here. The idea for my comic book is not that I tell you what I believe and I tell you, this is what I think and you should believe it too. It's more like I present things the way they're presented in the real world, and you see who's doing what and who's doing what actions and who's saying what, and you go, they call these guys terrorists, but these guys never kill innocent people. Or they call these guys, these guys look like the heroes. They're dressed like heroes. They're spoken about by the government as heroes. So they must be heroes, right? And then a dude crushes somebody's head in mercilessly, and it's like, oh, so maybe they're not. The whole idea is not for people to believe what they're told, but to look with their own eyes and see what's happening and then make a decision for themselves. So that's
so it's a book in training people how to spot propaganda.
Yeah, just thinking critically. Yeah, that's all. And yes, spotting propaganda. I use all kinds of, like, there are certain people referred to as conspiracy theorists. Like I said, there's people referred to as terrorists. There's people referred to as extremists. Those are the Orthodox Christians, because this is in Russia, so they're Orthodox Christians. They're referred to as extremists. So there's all kinds of things where I present it from the side of the people who are telling the story. And you, as the audience, I'm not going to spoon feed people. I think people are actually intelligent, and I think that they are unconsciously more intelligent than they might previously suppose. And so I hope that people read this and think to them, even if they don't know it right away, they're like, oh, wait a minute, these terrorists, like, they don't do any, like, really evil things. There's no rape. They kill people, yeah, but they kill, like, state is pigs. I mean government officials. So it's like, are they really all that bad? And so that's the whole point of this comic book, is to not make people, but trick people.
No,
into
encourage.
But it's I'm not though. I'm trying to trick the stupid people.
Okay.
I'm trying to trick people into using their own brain to decide things for themselves. And I'm not gonna, obviously I'm telling you guys this now. I don't think, the vast majority of people who are buying my comic are gonna know about this or remember it, even if they do know about it. But the point is that this whole fight that we're fighting against evil people in the world, and it could be, whatever, these people, they're Masons or they're Jesuits or they're whatever you want to ascribe to them.
Lizard people.
The fight is not against physicality, it's against ideas, and it's against consciousness. And so you have to introduce ideas to people in ways where they thought that they were the ones who thought of it. And the moment they think they thought of it is the moment that they are willing to believe it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are very prideful and they're just like, oh, this guy said this, so fuck him. I'm not going to believe what he has to say. But if he comes to the same conclusion of his own accord by reading a fictional book, then he's not going to be that way. He's going to be more inclined to think, well, I figured something out. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I'm certainly glad that the independent publishing is kind of, I think it's like experiencing a renaissance, and there are people like you that are doing the creative storytelling to basically trick readership. And I do take that as intelligent people are going to see what you're doing and appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the dummies might see that they were tricked and maybe even go into their own lives and start double thinking like,
right,
would this have any application to like what I'm looking at now?
Right. I mean, that's literally, and like I said, I've written 16 issues. This whole story is already completed. Excuse me. There is a point at which in this story, secrets are revealed, tables are turned. And I want that to be the point at which people reading it go, holy shit. And then they look back on all the old comics, the last 15 issues that have come out, and they go, whoa, it was there the whole fucking time. It was right there. But they only now realize it because it takes one piece of information to open your mind up to something different. And to be clear, when I say trick people, I'm not tricking you about I want to entertain you. Like I want people to be entertained. I want them to come to this. They're going to have great fight scenes. Like I'm not about this wishy-washy fucking one page with a splash panel of everybody fighting and that's the fight scene. Get out of here. I want to see people, bones broken. I want to see punches thrown. I want to see, people engaging in actual martial arts. You know what I mean? So I want to entertain people. That's first and foremost. But the trick side comes, I want people are not inclined to listen to different opinions if you tell them the opinions. If you show them and you let them come to it, then they're more inclined to think about those things. That's my goal. That's really, so I'm tricking people into being open-minded, essentially, if that makes any sense. But I want to entertain people. I want people to have a good comic book that they can come back. Like they're going to buy this if they buy it, and they're going to say, oh, this was a fun story, or they might not like it. Who knows? It's the second comic. They might be like, this is fucking trash. It's going on eBay. But I think it's a really great story. There's a twist in it that I'm really proud of, and I think people will then be able to look at those characters as they move along in the comic and go, oh, okay, and start keeping these, I'm trying to entertain people, but I'm not doing this just for money and entertainment. I'm doing it because I feel like I'm supposed to. I have to. I don't have a choice.
Well, what can people expect as far as backing now, or if they've backed you, when are they going to get their book? What's the timeline on that?
Yeah, so the campaign closes out the 29th. Sunday, I think it's like 11 p.m., which means that on the 30th, Monday, which is the next business day, I will be literally ordering all the comic books and sending them off to print, which then means, excuse me, beer gives me the burps. which then means on the 13th, approximately, of January, I will have in my possession all of the printed comic books. And that's a Monday. And I am...
Look at this guy and his organization.
I will be working that Monday, which means that Wednesday I will not be working, which means that by the latest, Wednesday is when all of, well, probably, hopefully I sell enough that that I can only do half in a day of the comic books. Right now we're at 50. I did 50 in one day, and everybody at the post office fucking hated me. But,
Really?
They were so mad. But the lady helping me was like, she was chill because she gets paid hourly, right? She doesn't care how many customers she deals with. She's just like, oh, okay, boop, 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 boop. And there's all these people in the back complain, like, oh, he couldn't have done this on a different day. And I'm just like, fuck out of here.
Like what day?
Yeah, like what day? And also, I'm paying for it. Like, I'm paying for postage here. So, and actually, I will be honest with you, I do enjoy other people's anger at me when I do those kinds of things. I like and take it in. I'm like, yes, you fool. So yeah, Wednesday is when it'll be shipping. Wednesday the 15th is when those books will be shipping out. 16th at the latest, and then you should receive it within approximately 5 days. So people should be getting their books before February even begins. Before February even begins.
That literally was the question I asked. And the whole time as you're going through your schedule, I'm thinking, so before February.
Yes.
Very good. So you guys, this is one of those campaigns to back because it's basically like shopping at a store.
Yeah.
At this point, it's going to come that fast, which you do not get that often in crowdfunded projects. So I did drop the link. The link is in the description of the videos across platforms. And then the link is also in the chat. You would only have to scroll up maybe one or two chats because our chat's been kind of quiet tonight, Bruce. Like I'm wondering where our regular viewers are actually.
It's well, come on, Christy. It's Christmas weekend. People may be out of town. People may be out of town and having fun, like we are here tonight. They'll just have to catch the replay, like George Washington acts.
They're having fun, and so I mean, so are we too, right now. Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm like, they're not losers live streaming the day after Christmas. Oh, which by the way, I probably would not have scheduled a stream for tonight, but I realized it was our 52nd show, and I'm like, oh, we need to close out on a full year of streams being done. So we're done with one full year of streaming. I don't think our regular viewers are here. And if you are and just lurking and listening tonight, thank you so much to the people that come back every week. It has been way more of a pleasure and kind of an unexpected thing. I didn't really plan on having where people coming back every week. I'm like, wow, this is why people live stream. Like, I don't know who these people are or what they look like or anything like that, but it feels good. Like they come back every week and chat, and it's nice. I've had a wonderful year of streaming with you, Bruce, and having Cause as our awesome producer and all that kind of stuff. I cannot be more pleased. And thank you to everybody that shows up every week. And thank you to all the new people that popped in and said, what's up tonight? It might have been a lot of draw in for Patrick. Because I feel like people like you too, Patrick.
It's shocking. People have been saying that, and I don't believe it. I feel like it's a Fed ploy. So
it could be. Now, well, let me ask you this. How many lists do you think you're on?
Oh, at least 4 to 5, I would say. I don't even say no, I don't like him, says Bad Sauce. Nice. Thanks for being on my show yesterday, by the way. For watching the show. He wasn't on it, but he was watching it. You know, I'm much more like, even I'm pretty upfront on the internet. There are some opinions that I will not express here, though, on the internet, because there's some things that will get you. So anyway, I don't say those things, but I'm at least on the ATF's list, probably 100% the ATF, the CIA's list. I'm probably on, I would say the Russian government's list, but if I'm on their list, they probably see me as like a positive force.
Okay.
So I guess,
What, because of your book?
is that good or
Your
bad?
propaganda?
No, no, it's because I'm like superlatively pro Russia. Like I'm rooting for Putin every day.
I said that in the very beginning. I was rooting for Putin because he's on our side, and this whole shenanigans they're pulling with with the Ukraine just pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
Because he took out all the bioweapons laboratories for Trump, right? He exposed all these other things. We found out about the Azov Battalion, the neo-Nazi group that runs, the mercenaries for Zelensky. I'm sorry?
I said awkward.
Yeah.
It was awkward for everyone. That whole, oh yeah, the Ukrainians do actually have ties to fascists, and you're like, oh, wait, what?
Well,
yeah.
I'm proud to host both of you Russian asshats.
Oh, come on. Come on. Look at this way, Christy.
It's a play on the word asset.
Oh, I know.
I'm also a Russian asshat.
Oh, you are as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
Of
I just
course.
I look at we were talking about me being an anarcho-universal monarchist earlier. I look at almost every war that has existed in almost every single one of them that has gone on since, I couldn't even say, at least 1,000 years. And I don't look at them as like, oh yeah, these people, like these two countries had legitimate issues with each other and went to war. I look at them more as like these people were whipped up and fomented into war, and who always pays the price are the people, not the politicians or the rulers. And so in the Ukrainian-Russian war, it's the same situation. If the UN hadn't been involved, first of all, we have no fucking right, because the United States has no right at all talking about satellite countries to Russia when we were so bitchy about the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's like, fuck off all of the way. We act a certain way and we go, you can't do this around our territories. But when it happens to another country, we're like, what do you mean? That's not a problem. So that whole thing actually the hypocrisy of that pisses me off. But the worst part about it is that if there had not been involvement by essentially the globalist, what's the word I'm looking for?
Deep state scumbags, elitists, deletists.
Right. These people, if there was not any of that, then this Russian-Ukrainian war would have been a Russian-Ukrainian conflict wherein Russia would have taken back its territory that it's had for thousands of years
immediately,
and very little civilian casualties. This is the thing that really annoys me too. People act like Russia's this great evil country when they have taken great pains to not cause civilian casualties. I'm not saying they haven't at all. It's war. Things happen. Accidents happen. But they have taken great pains to reduce civilian casualties. And that's the reason they haven't completely obliterated Ukraine. They could if they wanted to, but they don't want that. And so this propaganda machine in the West, in America particularly, Russia evil, this, that, it really grinds my gears, because the only people who benefit from that is the fucking military industrial complex, as it always is. So that's,
and that's going to be dismantled. That's going to be dismantled with this next administration, I do believe. I hope and pray.
There's a lot of things that I hope happen.
Pete Hegseth is going to tear it all down to build it back up the way it's supposed to be.
Hopefully, unless Pete Hegseth has his, family threatened or some horrible thing, you know what I mean? These people don't operate by our rules. And that's another thing to note, is that the people who hate regular people and consider them lesser, they don't operate by our rules. And a lot of us operate by rules, and we want to operate by rules. We want to operate by the rule of law. We want to operate with civility, but the enemy does not operate with civility. The enemy operates with, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to do it in a way that you can't get me for it.
And that's why you have people like Putin doing their thing, why you have Netanyahu doing what he's doing, and Trump, what Trump's going to be doing. And I really seriously believe Pete Hegseth is going to be able, he spent a week and a half press palming all the congressmen and asking them for their concerns. He didn't just go blindly, thinking he was going to get, approved. He went and he spoke to all the congressmen that had questioned him about his abilities to do the job. And guess what? He's going to get confirmed. But we're not a political show, so I don't want to go there. Anywho,
sorry if I brought that up, and I'm sorry. I didn't
no,
mean to-
not at all.
No,
Not at
that's
all. I enjoy this. Look, I don't get to do it as often as I'd like, but we're just as much, fighting for the rights. I belong to a podcast group called the Dilly Meme Team, Dilly 300. I watch this guy, Brendan Dilly, in the Dilly Show every day, Monday through Friday, and I'm part of his, 300 army. And it's people like him and you and Christy and Cosmic Grandpa that we're out here speaking the truth. We're telling people in your way. You use your comic book to tell people what the fuck is really going on. Break them out of the matrix that they've become accustomed to. And so we thank you for what you do. That's just great stuff.
Thank you.
I love that. So this is good. I love the banter. I don't get to do it enough. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Well, I have great faith that, the independent creators are what is going to win the culture war, because everybody's on their frickin' grind, like very, very hard, and working to the best of their own ability to become become the new establishment. I feel like we're like at the spark stage of a renaissance, in the arts and everything, and we shall prevail. And I'm super excited for the next 4 years, politically, but I'm also going to hold accountable. If I don't get some disclosure in the next 12 months, I'm going to be middle finger to the establishment's face, because they're all establishment pigs as well.
When you say disclosure, are you referencing like alien disclosure?
No, I'm referencing like 9/11.
I see. Okay.
JFK,
Okay.
The stuff that's obviously like covered up.
You're not going to get it. Sorry.
Well, then they got 12 months, and then I'm like, you're an establishment shill, and I don't trust you anymore. And,
how do you guys feel about this?
My hopium's dead.
I want to ask you guys this, and the chat here too, I guess, because this is kind of a hot topic or a hot opinion that I have here. Donald Trump, right? A lot of people hate him. A lot of people love him. I feel like if we do not get the Epstein list, then he's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about 9/11 and JFK. If we do not get a decent amount of disclosure, it's like you're a deep state scumbag as well.
Mm-hmm.
I am not one of those people that's like ride and die. Trump can do no wrong, because I know that's a huge portion of the MAGA movement and a decent amount of our readers, but the ones that we haven't already pissed off, because we're not like on establishment lines, they're already gone anyway, but I am MAGA. Like, I am like, dude, yes, make America
I'm
great
stoked.
again.
Let's go. Like,
yeah.
This is my paycheck's going to be better. Fuck yeah, let's go. Oh, and the abortion thing too. That's a really positive thing for me. I'm super militantly anti-abortion, so I'm very happy about the way that's been progressing in our country. I know you guys might not be. But I'm just
the word you use the word militantly, and I'm like,
no, I mean I am like I really like I don't really know any other way to perceive of that subject, because to me it's murder. So how are you going to let people get murdered? That's how I look at it. I look at it as a war to a degree. Like, we've got it. But then we were talking earlier about following the rule of law and operating within the rule of law. And like I said, the enemy does not. So sometimes you have to, I don't know. I'm just saying people not associated with me would engage in activities. Anyway, I'm sorry. I actually try to kind of be a jerk. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
No. I totally get it. The thing I have a little bit more sympathy on the abortion issue, only because of propaganda and brainwashing, and the use of language and the manipulation. So I'm a little more tolerant of, not necessarily like this is women's health care or anything, because I would argue against that to my dying day.
Uh-huh.
But I have a little more understanding for the people that are brainwashed. That's all.
I understand.
Like, I wouldn't go blowing up abortion clinics because they're all evil, you know?
Oh, yeah. What kind of a person would do that?
I don't know, but you said you were a militant.
What kind of a person would do such a thing? Oh my God. Anyway.
I have to ask you, Patrick, did you ever watch the Jerome Corsi?
Hold on. I need fucking protection for this stream. Sorry.
I'm sorry. But this lets you know I'm a real one, that I've got my crazy theories.
Did you ever hear the Jerome Corsi lecture that he gave to the I forgot who it was, one of the military groups, one of the upcoming military classes, but he talked about how there's this plan that the military has to keep Trump, to use Trump as the arrow, the spear to take out the deep state. And this was back in like 2017. It's a real interesting interview. But then I hearken back to one beyond that, go back to Yuri Bezmenov saying how they're going to take over America, not all at once, but a slow drip over a period of 30 or 40 years, which is exactly what they've done.
Well, that's what Nikita
if you get a chance,
said.
I think the Yuri Bezmenov interview, 1987, was much more telling than people really understand. I've watched it multiple times, and over the span of different years, like every year that I get to see it again, I pick up more insight to, holy shit, are we really watching a movie?
Yeah.
It does kind of feel that way.
Nikita Khrushchev said that, though, in so many words, in a paraphrase. He said, one day America will wake up and find that it is communist. Now, it's not communist per se, but you can see what he was trying to say has come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's one for you, though. If you can find, I don't know the exact year. I saw this 3-4 years ago, and this was before AI existed. By the way, AI is one of the worst evils to have ever afflicted humankind. That's my opinion. We could talk about that at some point.
It stops people from thinking on their own.
But you don't even know, you can't even tell what's real or what's not anymore. So let me give an example. And people who know. Back in the day, and I'd say back in the day, like 5 years ago even, I could look at a video of a UFO, and I could tell you if that video was an actual video of a UFO or if it was a CGI. These days, I cannot tell you that. I don't know. I can't. Because the particular strange phenomena that AI exhibits when it operates, shockingly and strangely enough, is very similar to the strange phenomena that accompany UFOs when they're actually filmed. It's this weird, and I could go down a rabbit hole there. I really could. But it's this weird thing where it's like, I can't tell the difference anymore. AI has prevented me from looking at any video ever and saying, yes, I believe this because it's on video. I can't say that anymore. Where was I going with that? I don't know.
Into a whole rabbit hole, I believe.
Yeah.
Into a whole rabbit hole that will be reserved for our next FAFO stream, where we do focus a lot more on conspiracy while doing live reads. And now that you are Flip City branded, you will get an invitation to every single one of those
amazing
FAFO streams, and hopefully meet people that you haven't met before that are all similar minded. I don't like to say like-minded because that means like, I think it lends itself to a hive mind, but similar minded. They're always a blast. And by the way, for anybody that wants to watch one of our best FAFO streams, it was exactly at our halfway point of Creative Chaoses. It was episode 26, and it's called FAFO stream. You will get a lot of conspiracy on that one and several live reads. Not nearly as good as Patrick did for us tonight because it's like you're a professional or something.
Well, thank you.
So I'm super excited. I'm super excited to have you back on one of our party streams. And so we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We've been going for over 2 hours. That means we really like you.
Thank you.
So Patrick, one more time, where do you want people to find you and what do you want them to do?
So you can find me on Twitter. My handle is PQ. Oh gosh, what is it on Twitter?
It's PQ Quinlan. No, it's PQ Comics with an X, I think.
Okay, that's right. Because on YouTube, it's PQ Vox with an X. Like I told you guys, I'm really edgy like that. So PQCOMIX. I'm just gonna post it below here.
And is that where you're most active as far as social
Twitter,
media?
yeah.
Besides YouTube.
Besides YouTube, yeah. YouTube is PQ Vox right there that I posted down there. So if you guys, I mean, subscribe to the YouTube one. I come out with, I do COMICSGATE Commandos. That's our live stream. Then I do a lot of music more recently. I've done, and I'll send you this kit. I don't say Kitty, Christy. Like I said I was going to. I'll send you that. And Bruce, are you on Twitter as well?
I am Bruce Q. Wayne.
Kind of.
I am Bruce Q. Wayne on Twitter.
Okay, I'll find you.
Love chill
If I
kid.
can't find you, find me, because I want to send you that Fantastic Four voiceover video that I did. I want you guys to listen, because that's top notch right there. And Christy, if you ever have something you want me to record for you, I'll be even better. Because I'll have time with it. You know what I mean?
Yes, you offered, and this was your second audition. So you've made the final cut to give us free voiceover work. Congratulations, Patrick.
Let's go.
All right, cool.
I think he
So
needs to do.
You guys all
I think
know
he
where
needs to do a Flip City read where he's the announcer, he's the characters, he's all of it in one shot.
Well,
because he had that.
I'm
sorry, he had that Superman-esque. I'm sorry.
I digress. Over on the COMICSGATE Commando show, Patrick's show, we did a read, and the subject was brought up of, has anybody ever done like a whole audio reading through a magazine? And that has not happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was discussed shortly, like, oh, give me anything you want. So it's on the docket for me to send Patrick a load of stuff, and he can just pick and choose what he wants to do and send me back voiceover. I'm sure it will be stellar.
Yes.
It's just, my list is like this long, and Patrick's in there somewhere.
Right.
And the stuff.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd love to do it. And then the last thing I would say is, ladies and gentlemen, please back Phenomenal Tales #1 Minotaur on Fund My Comic right now. Fund My Comic is a great website that allows people like me who have dissident opinions to express them and to be, and just to post about what we want and to talk about what we want. This comic is just beginning. So if you're a collector and you're wondering whether or not, this series is going to continue, the answer is yes. I'm going to continue to do this series. This is my, for lack of a better term, this is my God-given goal for the time being. This is what I'm doing. I'm making this comic book and I'm telling this story. So get it while you can. Only $10 and plus $8 shipping and nationally. For that comic book, it's 26 pages of fully colored sci-fi horror. It's going to be a banger, as the kids say.
Woohoo! All right, so get in early.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, get in early, everybody. And Bruce, where can everybody find you?
Well, aside from here, every Thursday night at Creative Chaos, 3 Beermen goes live on Sunday, 7 o'clock Big Apple time, 6 o'clock Mountain time, 5 o'clock barbecue time, and I think 4 o'clock avocado time. So please check us out on 3beermen.com. And there's my partner in crime, my very own Cosmic Grandpa.
It's Cos.
In his Russian felt.
That's so awesome.
It's amazing.
He went into his
Cosmic
closet
is the man
just
of
for
many
you,
hats.
Patrick.
But he's got the Wizard of Oz background too. That's fucking sick. That's so cool.
He is our man behind the curtain.
Oh my God.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Amazing. Oh my God. That's so cool. That's the coolest background I've ever seen anybody have. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I honestly think that, and with the fire, it's so good. Oh my God.
Yeah, Cos brings his own flavor, and we love it.
That's amazing.
I just came to wave goodbye with the rest of you.
Oh, okay, fantastic. And Cos, besides where Bruce said where to find you guys, do you have any other things to plug since you're here?
Well, definitely visit the Madness Comic Network. You plugged it at the beginning of the show, and you're doing the draw stream on Saturday. I'm part of the Madness Comic Network over there too, so find me in the chats over there. And like Bruce said, find me on Sundays on Three Beer Men. That's where I am for now. And watch in the new year for a brand new show.
All right, fantastic. And then anybody that's here and new tonight to Creative Chaos, we do this every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern, and whatever, Bruce says Big Apple and avocado and all that kind of stuff. But, those time zones work as well. So we do this weekly, and we have a new guest every single week with an occasional party stream where we bring past guests back to just kind of fuck around and find out. So I think we'll be doing one of those in the next month or two. Those are really fun party streams. And then again, check me out and a bunch of talented illustrators this Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. That would be 10 Pacific on the Madness Comic Network for the live draw stream, where we are launching the Flip City Madness Comic Network draw stream collaboration with the topic of serial killers and the women who love them. And the working title is But I Love Him. And it should be really, really fun to see these people make their creations of serial killers, either real and imagined, and hopefully only the imagined women that love them. But we know there's a lot of crazies out there. So there's that. And if you want to follow me personally, I'm most active on X as Kitty Flip City. And for anybody that doesn't know, Kitty actually is a fictional character played by me. But I'm weird, and that is how I function on social media to get over my own social media anxiety. And I embrace my own cringe. Yay, Christy. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Go check out Patrick Go back his comic over on Fund My Comic exclusively, because we love Fund My Comic. And we will see you next week. And this is where we all wave. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, class. List everything insensitive, exclusionary, bigoted, nationalistic, misogynistic, and offensive that you can find in history's great myths and legends. Extra points for suffering panic attacks or emotional outbursts. Fact check every opinion against the lived experience of your comrades and allies, so you can avoid forming a criminal opinion. Scrutinize it cover to cover. Wrongthink, misgendering, dead naming, misinformation, microaggressions. Leave no page unturned.